First open talk of the new year is about the student-teacher relationship itself and what that means. Specifically, what is the relationship? What does it mean to follow a teacher? And a lot of times people talk about their own inner teacher and following that, follow your instinct, follow your truth. All these words kind of get jumbled up and these concepts can get very confusing, especially in the context of actually following a teacher, which we're all trying to do with you. So maybe you could start off by just talking for a few minutes about sort of those issues, the inner teacher, the true teacher, you following the teacher, and what the relationship's supposed to look like to really be a student.
Okay. Okay, you just remind me.
Yeah.
Anything I have missed. So
yeah.
It's like, first of all, what it means to be student-teacher relationship. It's like in through this Indian religious or spiritual or this higher ground of beingness is like, instead of teacher, we call it guru. Because a teacher itself kind of limits the meaning of relationship with the student and teacher, or the guru relationship. It's like, because the teacher, you just, it's like you're learning from someone only, right? And when it becomes like a guru, it's much more into it than just a teacher, right? It's a much higher, deeper levels of relationship. So the teacher and the guru relationship is more like a wholesome way. It's a whole relationship. It's like, like how the child born and has a relationship with the mother and father, then with the siblings, then with the society, and then, husband, wife, and, friends. But guru's relationship with the student is like, it's like a whole. For the student, the relationship is complete. Complete means it's inclusive. Every relationship in that is there, is present.
It's
like, it's hard to acknowledge, because person has been living in bits and pieces. For example, with the son, right? Relationship with the mother and father, it's a limited. There is all kind of personalness in it, but it's just in one ground. It's just one. But when you see the teacher, it's like the teacher is just like it has earned within every relationship. It's like there is an impersonalness to every relationship that helps the person to be wherever this person is coming from, to be in that. Right? It's providing the student the wholesomeness. Its love is not limited, right? Because parents' love is like how always the child says, you don't love me, you love my younger brother, you love my older sister, like, it's like it's limited. Even same thing with the friendship, same thing with the marriages. It's like, it's very limited. Even you go to the school, you have it's like the teacher has the teacher has to love me first, or more to me first, or something, or teacher has some preferences. But in a guru relationship with the teacher, the student and the guru relationship is a whole. It's like there is no limit in it. It's like there's an ability for the guru to include the student wholesomely. And from the student to the guru is like, it's like a bit by bit, step by step. The student is a learning to give oneself to the guru. Of course, in the beginning, the jealous comes, like, I'm supposed to be the better student and all that. And, I'm supposed to be closer, but these things are personal. And slowly, slowly, the guru helps the teacher to move through all these restrictions of this mind, and allows you to move in a bigger platform, we can call it.
Mm.
Yeah. And I don't remember the other ones yet.
I'll look at it in a sec. I just wanted to share something briefly, if I
Okay.
could, that I'm remembering years ago, I had a connection with you in Brampton, I believe. And I remember at one point, it was kind of close to the end of the connection. We were just looking at each other and you said something like, relate to me in all of the ways.
Mhm,
And I remember I said, sister, mother,
mhm.
lover, friend. And
Yes.
yeah, there's sexuality in there, but not the kind of
Mhm.
grabby sexuality. It was just all
Yeah.
the relations,
Yeah.
they started to come.
Yeah.
And that's what's resonating in me from your answers, like just the guru. And maybe that's the difference between the guru and the teachers. The teachers, like, I teach school things. I teach school things from
Mhm,
1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Okay, goodbye. I'll see you next week. There's boundaries, there's limitations.
mhm.
This is like all encompassing, and you can be father, you can be mother, you can be everything.
Yeah. 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 It's just everything, because of it's everything. And this is why I tell people to just even love me. I can say that because there's nothing personal. It's not one way to love me, every way to love me.
Um, let's see, you answered a lot there. I think could you speak for a minute about this concept about following your inner teacher, your inner guide,
Mm.
how, because you could say, oh, my inner teacher told me to be with Gurpreet, but you could also say, well, my inner teacher knows the answer. I don't need Gurpreet. You could go so many places with that. So I think it would be really helpful if you could speak about that for a moment.
Mhm. You know, it's like, for example, the when you meet the teacher, it's like instant way, it's like your whole being is going to be shaken, and that it's like instant. It's like your personalness doesn't understand, but instant something way, and for some people that instant way of connection that happens for them is like, wow, big. For some people, is this wow big is scary. They'll run away, right? And for some people, when this happens, like this instant knowing, that instant connection, and then through that connection, it's just like it's instant. There is nobody's in between. There's no it's like your intuition's not even in between. And your thoughts not in between, your feelings not in between. It's like that instant connection happens. I saw many people who came to me, it was like instant. And this instant way, some people can follow all along. Some people cannot follow all along. They'll just follow a little bit and then It's too much to follow. And some people, they think, okay, I know my teacher. I know, for example, Gurpreet is my teacher. I know that. And some people can say that, okay, you know what, because something happened and I just knew that. It's like it just comes from a very different ways. But what you are saying is, like, for some people, they think they know better. Who's my teacher? That's not true.
Well, it sounds like you're making a distinction between just
Yeah.
instant way knowing and
Yeah.
mind knowing.
Yeah. Because some people, it's like for them, when they think, okay, I know my teacher, I know this, I know. And this I cannot follow the wholesome way. And this is not the knowing. It's just, I think I know.
That can be very tricky for the person, though. That can be
It's
very tricky
Mm-hmm.
because the mind goes so quickly and can convince you.
Yeah.
It's almost like falling in love. Maybe you fall in love with somebody, they're good looking or they're rich or they're funny, and you're not really, you're convincing yourself, same thing. This is my lover, this is my teacher, whatever. You can be very convinced by your wants, your desires, what a teacher should look like, how the teacher acts and dresses, anything, the music in the background.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like there is a difference between, you know, instant way, you know that, or you think I know. This I is very limited, and then it cannot tell you the truth, right? And of course, your following also not going to be that way either. It's not going to be deeper or higher levels. And another part, as you said, like about it, like how you know them, how you know who's your teacher, right? In a way, this is the hardest answer I ever can give. You don't know. You don't know who's your teacher is. And I always says, when you are ripened, your longing is ripened inside of you, the true teacher appears in front of you.
It's a great answer. Really, it's a beautifully uncomfortable answer.
Yeah. When you're ready, your teacher appears in front of you. And your teacher is not going to appear according to your own expectations either. As you said, it's not going to dress up like you're expecting. It's not going to teach you like that. It's not going to, nothing is going to be presentable by the teacher according to you. Okay? Because the longing is not according to you. We don't understand all this. Longing is out of blue. It's like, you know, out of your personalness. It's like you long, you're desperate, there's a deep ache inside of you. It has nothing to do with your person. And yet the person is still looking according to its own ways. This, my teacher's supposed to look like this.
So the longing is looking for a teacher, and the person's also looking for a teacher, but the person and the longing are not necessarily on the same page.
Yeah. When person is looking for the teacher, there is so much going on in this world. We call it a mess. Right? Because it's not based on this true longing.
Yeah, I know. For me, it's just my own personal way it unfolded. It was like I only remember two things. The minute I saw you when you walked in the room, I felt like dizzy. I just got dizzy for a second and I was like, I didn't understand. And then I remember my first connection. And the word that's coming to me as I think about if I could describe that first connection in just one word, it would be otherworldly. Otherworldly. It was not anything I ever could have understood or comprehended.
Yeah.
And I remember for days after, I was just exhausted and it was just like,
Yeah.
what just happened? It was beyond anything I could understand.
Mhm.
And I never even being a Western person, a lot of Western people look for a guru. I never did. I looked for teachers, but never a guru. And
Mhm.
then here I am. So I don't really understand.
Mhm.
Really, my mind doesn't understand what I'm doing here. And
Mhm.
even you can feel the mind going, what are you doing here? Are you crazy? You know, sort of thing.
Mhm.
So I really relate to the mind and the heart, sort of, or the longing, whatever you want to call it, being very two different places from where they're coming from.
Mhm.
Um, and I love that answer. You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. And I've been asked this question from the very, very beginning, maybe 13, 14 years ago. And how you know who's your teacher is. It's like I used to answer your heart knows, but it's
It's
people
so
don't
tricky
understand. It's like you can't understand.
because your mind will convince yourself that it's really your heart, and then you get confused.
Exactly. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
mind can take the emotional body, you cry, now you think you're a heart. Oh, I'm a heart, look, I'm crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's tricky.
Is this your
Oh,
microphone is a little
is
bit
it making
rubbing
noise?
your t-shirt?
Okay,
Just from the speaker from top.
let me put it here. Just let me know if it happens again. If it happens again, I'll hold it.
Okay.
I think it'll be better now.
Okay.
Um, yeah, that's really, really helpful. And also in that answer, it it sort of demands a continual openness from the student. If you don't know, you can't just sit and close and say, this is my teacher, and sort of go, you have to sort of stay open to, this is my teacher. Is this my teacher? Following, not understanding. It's sort of, it's, faith is the wrong word, but it takes more trust. Your
Mhm.
answer invites more trust.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's
more
like,
openness.
yes, this love and trust. It's like the love cannot exist without trust. The trust cannot exist without love. And you need both with the teacher, with your guru. You need both of them.
Wow.
And if one is missing, you're not going to stay too long. Because your guru is really, really willing to pay the cost for the student, right? And if he, and that way it's like has to dig all of you, and you know that how much we let anybody to touch us, right? We don't. So if you really love and trust your guru, it it can touch you. It can help you to move beyond those points where you're stuck. But it takes a lot. It's like, as I said, love and trust is
That's a,
needed from the student side all along. In the beginning, this love and trust is going to be very at the shallow level. As the student is progressing, this love and trust is going to deepen. So this progress is like it's a journey. And of course, each time the person gonna feel like, I want to run away. I want to run away, right? The person cannot stand it. And again, what is gonna help you to stay there is your love and trust.
seems to me that I've been here long enough with you to see people opening and growing, walking, deepening. As you said so many times, I don't see my own opening and growing at all, but I see other people.
Mhm.
And what I see, it's back to the chicken and the egg, who came first. I see that their love and their trust creates their openings, and their openings increases their love and their trust. So they
Mhm.
start to feed each other
Exactly.
as they walk together. The openings and the love and the trust walk down this road of whatever truth together.
Mhm. Yes. And this is what is missing in us as a human being. We keep on thinking, I love, I love. We don't. We don't love. Something happens and the person just step out. It's not only with this guru, this love and trust. It's like with everything, also this love and trust grows as you opening. But
Life.
yes, yes, but this ground, this with this platform Guru has set up, it's like it's growing, it's a helping way of being, and letting even for the personal to throw tantrums. It's like letting whatever your bubbles comes out, and then the Guru is letting it student to be exposed. It's okay. And but this is the love you only learn through this. Otherwise you only says I love that person, I fall in love with that person, then slowly you struggle again because you don't know what love is. And this way you're learning yourself to go deeper than your personal beliefs. And then your love is deepening as well. Trust is deepening as well. And even with the teacher, this is a deepening, keep on deepening. Right? So the relation with the teacher is a deepening throughout these openings. And some people, their love is so like an innocent way. They don't even know that they're loving it. But yes, they are so simple way being included in this love.
Yeah, when you say that, yeah, thank you, by the way. That was really beautiful. When you say that it's not just the love and the trust for the guru, but to me, what comes up is life. And I'm recalling just, I guess, yesterday or whatever, Corinne had that beautiful connection. And it just seemed like she was loving and trusting everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's how it strikes me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the walk itself, as she took more in the world, her friends, family, the world, the universe, life, her path, fate, whatever you want to call it, just it's just taking in and the loving of that.
Yes, 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 yes. That's a beautiful example.
And also, I've got something else I want to share. I don't know if I have the words for it, but it's like when you talk about falling in love with a person doesn't know what love is. What comes to me is a person doesn't know what the other person is. The person doesn't know what they're loving. You're loving a person, a personality, a sense of humor, energy in a person, texture in another person. There's an attraction, even between friends, like a friend attraction, just want to be friends with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
All these things are built on our personalities, Their truth comes out of them. I think there are elements and qualities of truth, but also if we are truly one, then our individuality is not that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we just don't know what we're falling in love with, or what we think we're falling in love with is sort of as much of an illusion as we are. The only thing that really one can love is the formless truth, which we can't even understand.
That's how it is. Yes.
So
Because
in that sense,
other is like falling in love with person is, it's like your patterns or the other person's patterns. It's like a muddy, two muddiness. It's meeting together. You falling in love. You are in love at the same time. There's two things. Personalness is also coming together. It's not pretty here, but if the one is really willing to grow, it can really open. But which is very rare, the person can able to open their own, because normally people don't know this, what openness means. It's like the person is only trying to cope, trying to just pass the day, or trying to just make up this love, or try to believe that we love each other, kind of things, but not this way. Waking up is just other level of beingness. This is a higher level, and that's why it takes all of you, not part of you.
um, yeah, and I guess we could talk about this for a minute, although I think it's pretty clear what I think you're going to say, but I'll throw it out there anyway. The idea of some people sort of go from teacher to teacher, trying to get their greatest hits, get their knowledge. I'm going to learn a little from Gurpreet. I'm going to go over to this guy, Muji. I'll learn from him. I studied with everybody. Well, that's better than studying with just one person. You studied with everybody and you learned all the best secrets. Like there's all this mind stuff, like we're sort of gathering knowledge, reaching perfection, all these sort of ideas that as you're talking, I can almost guess your answer. That's just not what it is at
No.
all.
No, it's just like, I'll just speak a little bit about it. It's like in the very beginning, I knew that what is it like to grow in this. I knew that. So whoever was come to me, and I knew this is just a one-way thing. It's not like, okay, to accomplish something or gather up some knowledge or gather more knowledge or become a better person. It's not about that. To me, the first thing is you just let yourself land here first. You let yourself be here first. It's like somehow in me, it was so clear from day one that the student has to land. For some people, they were still like a habitual way. They would just want more, right? Or they want to look better in somewhere else. And I saw it's just not honest way of being. It's like, what do you need this knowledge for?
Right.
Do
That's a
you
great
need
question.
the knowledge for yourself?
Right. To make
But
yourself
we
feel
don't
better.
really, we don't really understand what we are doing. So basically the person is just running, gathering is just for their own greed, for their own ego to feed and just be fed by other people. That's what it's all about. But if you really want to grow, all these parts gonna be shattered in you. And this becoming a teacher or gathering more knowledge and becoming a teacher is the strongest part is in the person. Person keep on thinking, I need to learn so I can teach others. I met many, many people throughout all these times, and this is what it's all about. And they don't stay long because the teacher in them is very powerful. The teacher means they're holding on to identity. It's like you take a few steps, this identity comes visible. It says, okay, that's it. I got it. I know better now. This is not how it's supposed to be. You know, in old days, the teacher used to choose this whoever student is ready. And the student is already in a humble place to follow the teacher's, whatever teacher's gonna demand from it. But now these days, everybody got this idea of becoming a teacher. That's why it just so messy. It became so messy. It's not about that. When you have a longing, you don't want to be a teacher.
Yes. Actually, I wrote this down because it just hit me. I was like, if you want to be a teacher, something's already not true.
Exactly. That is identity.
Yep.
It's not gonna let you move through because this is a strong identity.
Yep. Very. Yeah, it's like, and it can manifest in so many ways, like wanting to be admired, wanting to be smart. And I know in me, it feels like that eye is covering up the I'm stupid eye. I'm useless, I'm worthless, I'm stupid. So maybe if I was a teacher and everybody adored me or everybody loved me or admired me or thought I was so smart, then I'll never have to face this ugly truth that I feel like an idiot and worthless, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. So there's this sort of dishonesty of like hiding from the truth of what I really feel I am.
Mm-hmm.
That creates so much of that. And I can't speak for anybody else, but I'd be surprised if I was the only one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's also the lust and the power of wanting to be worshipped. There's that too. But I kind of think that always comes from some lack, like some hidden
Exactly.
worthlessness.
Yeah. Yeah. You explained it very well.
It's almost like the opposites. They get bigger, 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 bigger. The more worthless you feel, the more you have to become Buddha or something. It's just like,
Yeah.
I'm not worthless. Look at me. I'm not worthless.
Mm-hmm.
Hide and seek again. Hide and
Yeah.
seek.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why the longing is different than all your personalness.
I mean, for me, the longing just comes back to just like, I just see a little kid with his little hand around God's finger, just like following. That's
Mm-hmm.
to me what makes me want to cry. It's just that.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. That's it. It's the end. Just follow like a child.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And you know, it's like even in somehow it was so much inside of me. It was ingrained inside of me that what guru means. I knew that. And I knew that there was one point and I was just saying it or seeing it at the same time. The guru is higher than what we even call God. And it's written in the Hindu scriptures as well. And it's so true though, because it's like saying like God itself cannot take you out from this mess.
Cannot what?
Cannot take you out from this mess.
Right.
Guru is the one who can. That's why they give so much importance to the guru. They worship the guru. Right? because he said, he's the one is willing to take your hand, to take you out, willing to pay the cost, willing to take whatever is going to come from the student. So God itself is a present, but it cannot take you. So again and again, I value that in me, that yes, that the Guru has a higher state. Not higher to the Guru, but to the student. It is like that.
Mm.
This is helping the student to move through all the difficult times, scary times, vulnerable times.
I think I understand. It's almost like you have to put the guru sort of almost above everything because it requires that much love and trust, almost above God. But of course, the guru is leading you to God. So it doesn't really matter to think too much about
Oh,
it,
yeah,
but you just, guru has to be the highest because that's the one you're actually following.
yeah. Because God you long for, but you don't know how to.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like the guru is the bridge between form and formlessness.
Yeah, yes.
And you can't touch that formlessness. You almost need a taxi driver. I don't know why I'm saying that. It's stupid. Somebody who can drive you there. Put a little taxi hat on you. Gurpreet's taxi service.
Yeah,
That makes
whatever
sense.
you call it, yes, this is it's it's very valuable.
Mm. So, speaking of this, I mean, I may as well ask you, and this is sort of like related to how do you know when somebody's your teacher, wanting to be a teacher yourself, all of these things. You know, I've heard that when you were with your teacher, John, that you really, really knew how to be a student, that you really knew how to be a student in his hands. I don't know what that means because I wasn't there. I know some of your older students were there with you to a degree, but I've heard that. And at the same time, you knew it was time to move on from him and to be a teacher, which is in so many people's fantasies. So it's like the flip side of what we're talking about is you actually did it in a true way. I don't want to be overly confusing or make things too muddy, but the question is there, of course, the question's there.
Okay. Yes, but first of all, like, from what I just was sharing through this last shift, I was just telling everyone, I said, this time I knew my birth was for this. And I born as a healed soul. I was born that way. And when I met John, it's like an instant moment. It's like same thing what I'm describing, it happened. I knew that. But I was kind of a naive and all that as at the same time, but at the same time I knew how to put my head in teacher's feet. I knew that. It's like that's what I said. It was in me. And to me, it was, of course, through the earnings, it just was a more deeper way, like to keep my head in his feet. Not only that, and time to time when it ripens, how to give more of myself to it. It's like it was happening. What I'm sharing, it's like this is what was happening. I truly was his student. I was truly it's just like time to time I was earning. The time to time I will see like if the part is like even a little bit hesitant to give. And then I knew that even there was like, even he was cut my head off and I was ready for that and I saw that. And then there was this was a very deep level of love and trust for me. This is just, even though I saw myself when I was with him, that the people are waiting for me. I would call it, my students are waiting for me, then I just dismissed it. I said, oh no, I don't want all this. I don't want to. It's like, I don't want to be a teacher. But it was a truth. I couldn't deny it at the same time, but at the same time, I let go of it. I said, no, I don't want to. I just let it move through me. And yes, with John, it's just like then he knew, and we kind of met at one place. It's like and I knew that time, I knew that. But how I knew what I knew, I cannot explain it so many years, because that part wasn't mature enough to speak about it. So this started to happen, and it was out of my hand what was happening. And it's like the words were just coming out. This knowledge was just flooded out. And but it wasn't in my hand though, it wasn't. And I didn't want it to be a teacher. I didn't want it to be a guru for anybody. It's like I thought, I'm too naive for this. I'm not even ready for this. I don't want to go to the egoistic state. You know, there is a possibility you can become egoistic person. So all that, these things were happening. But with John, this was so much in me, such a true way, how to give myself, how to surrender myself to him. I kind of, it was a, you can call it, it was a more natural in me.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm saying what I'm about to say, but it almost feels like that was part of your process of becoming a teacher, was becoming a student in that way for a while. I don't even know if that's true or something I'm making up, but it's just coming to me like, you know what it is to be a true student, so you can help us become true students, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. It's like in that sense, many things that happened in my life. I met many different people, and I kind of knew that every person I have met that went through is helping me to be with my students that way. I can really talk to them. Before, I had no material to talk to them. And for me, in the meeting, these people were so necessary. I met meditators, I met spiritual people, I met people who would channel, or people would be different kind of abilities, kind of, you know. I met many people, but in a very short time, I would say within a year, I met many people. And everything was helping me. As when I started to be with the students, it was helping me. And that way I knew, I said, yes, now I know what it means. And now I know how important it was for me to go through all this.
Yeah, it's almost like I can hear inside your words that you're sort of like in the feet of everything that ever happened to you in a really beautiful way.
Yes, yes, yes.
There's so much smallness and humbleness and gratitude in you for everything that happened.
Because it taught me, it just showed me every individual being I met, it was just showing me. And then, but even though even that moment, I wasn't awakened or anything. I was just telling, yes, this is not the way. This is not. I knew that. But that, this knowing has to move through many things in order to be revealed itself.
Yeah, sometimes it has to see everything that it's not
Yes.
to learn more what it is.
Yeah, you can say that. Yes. Yeah.
As you're expressing that, coming from that place of what strikes me as beautiful love and gratitude and humility, even as our teacher right now, for what life has brought you and taught you and equipped you with the ability to be here for us in the way that you are. It's kind of pointing out my own lack of gratitude. Like I feel so big right now. I feel like a big mountain, and you're like this little beautiful girl. I'm just like, I didn't like this, and I didn't like that, and I wish this had happened. And I got a list. Like if I unfolded the list, it would go down 3 flights of stairs. This list of everything that I wanted, that I wish. And of course, we've all had those little moments where all of that goes away. And when we touch the higher and we're like, everything's perfect. I'm so grateful for everything. I bow my head.
Exactly.
But it's
Yeah.
so rare in most people. We
Yeah.
don't live from that place, so often.
Yeah. 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 It was like, to me, it was amazing that how it happened, how I met all these people, how this universe programmed everything, one after another to 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 make me ready for this. It's like, for example, and that's why it's like when the people has this idea about teaching, to me it's a nonsense. It's not true though. It's like, don't choose to be a teacher at all,
Yeah.
or become a teacher, or don't make yourself that way, that I want to be a teacher. That's not gonna come from a true place. You want to be in a true place, you just pray for your longing. You pray for the fire, not to become a teacher.
I almost feel like it's the universe's decision, not yours. It's
Exactly. Not mine. It's not.
like you're like an instrument of the
Yeah,
universe kind
yeah,
of thing.
yeah, 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 yeah. Because true enough, when I just even shared with my mother, and my mother said, wow, so you are, it's a little like, for her, like, it's not, she said like a wow way, but she said she saw the value in me. She said, it's very rare, whatever this is happening in you, it's very rare. And I said, I don't want to be a teacher. And what she said, no, it's very rare. Like, it's not, everyone can be like that.
Yeah, it's making sense in my heart what you're saying. It's like it's not for you in that way that we would think about.
No, no.
The word instrument just keeps coming, like an instrument.
We are these instruments. It's like, but whenever you respond to that, then it's just being played accordingly.
Can you speak a little more about that when you respond to that? Or can you say that in a different way?
It's like you can be absent. Okay? if you're absent in your own self, it's like you're not present in yourself. It's like this instrument is not being played in the way it's supposed to be. You are being present, and it's being played accordingly.
Wow.
Because most of the time we are not present.
I know I have a huge problem with that. As you're saying that, I'm just like, wow. It's like almost like it's like it's like I'm a piano
Mhm.
and the
Mhm.
universe wants to play me, but my case is closed, so I can't get the key. It can't play me.
Yeah, yeah,
And what I feel right now in this moment in my heart is this ripeness of possibility of the ways that I could be played by the universe. But if I'm absent, which I am so much, then it can't. The universe is helpless, really, if I'm
yeah.
not open.
Exactly. The another thing is we're not ready to pay the cost.
Okay.
When this universe is making you ready for the next task, it's not according to your personal gain. It's according to the personal loss.
Mm.
So the personal loss means a cost. So how this piano is not going to be played by if the one is not ready to pay the cost.
Mm. Huge surrender is required. So much surrender.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Even to be that instrument, to let yourself be played. The universe picks the song. You don't pick the song. You're just the
Nothing you
instrument.
pick. Nothing. Because anything you pick it goes according to your personal gain. And when the universe is picking everything for you, it's nothing for your personal gain. It's not going to be. So the cost doesn't end. It's like to pay the cost is according to this growth is more and more.
I almost see the picture of a little child with his parents and just, what do we do? Like, okay, we're going to go here now. The child doesn't know, just mommy and daddy or whoever is taking us here. Now we go here, and there's, the child doesn't mind, the child trusts. There's no, child doesn't say, no, I want to go here. It's just trusting and following. And there's a beauty in it because there's no agenda.
Yeah,
But it's so hard as adults for us to go,
exactly.
so hard for us to let go. I feel it in my heart right now. It feels so beautiful. Like a part of me just wants to just, okay, where do we go? You tell me, I'll follow. And but the mind is like, well, wait, no, you can't do that. You got things to do, bills to pay, relationships to maintain. It's it's so simple, but so against what we've turned into as, I want to say, adults.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And yet there's so much misery in this adulthood.
Yeah.
And yet it's like that's really what we are. Like that's how we were born, as these children. It's amazing how I even feel the split. Like it's so natural for us to be that childlike way, but so foreign at the same time.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's almost like we're split right here. I feel a split in my body. Like,
Yeah. 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 So that's why we don't know how to follow
right.
and how to give.
Yeah, man, the more I relate with this child, the more it feels like the stuff that we're giving, it's like we shouldn't even necessarily have picked up in the first place. It really wasn't ever ours. All of these things that we think are ours that protect us, it's like, it's not even losing them. It wasn't ours ever. We just think it's ours. We think we own these things. It's like,
Yeah.
we're just children with nothing in our hands.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I just use the word. It's like a mirage. Everything what we see, we think is ours, right? We believe it. It's ours. It's mine. It relate to me. It's just like a mirage. You just see it from the distance. Something is real, but closer to you go, it's not. You can use the word illusion, but it's a hard. It's easier to say these words, but it's a hard to follow. That's why having this strong relation as a student and teacher is helping the person to move beyond these illusions, these false identities.
Yeah, I see that. I see it almost like I'm seeing it physically right now. There's like a hill with a point, and this is like the childlikeness, and this is all the adulthood beliefs, and they both have a gravity to them, actually a pull. But the mind can pull you so much, and once you get going, it's really hard to come back. And the teacher kind of helps you go this way, back to the childlikeness, because there's a pull there too. If you can get close enough to that child, it will pull you more. But the mind is so much quicker and stronger, and the child pull is so much more subtle and soft.
Yes.
It's almost like the teacher's there to give you a fighting chance to go the way you really want to go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even the match, even the game. I don't know.
Oh yeah, another thing you have asked about, like you can follow your own teacher inside. I think this is what you read earlier.
Mhm.
I think many people, they think this way. Okay, we have the teacher within us. We can follow. Many. I heard people saying it, because for them to to tell them to follow someone else in a physical form as a guru, as a teacher, is like it's way too tricky, twisty, kind of, the belief system they think is out there.
You should trust yourself. Don't give your power up to another person. You're going to
Exactly. If
betray
people
your inner
are,
truth.
yeah, because people, they've been hurt by these false gurus and teachers. They've been hurt. And then they lost it. They lost this trust kind of thing they have, right? So that's why the person has to convince himself, okay, I want to learn, but how do I learn? I need to follow my own teacher. Your own teacher is your own knowing, your inner knowing, which is so fine. And it's so hard to relate with that knowing. It's so hard to relate because it's so simple, so fine, so simple, it's there. But person is thinking, I need to follow. What the person is want to follow is own intuitions, not to relate with the knowing though. It just wants to relate with its intuitions. Person says something came to me like this way, right? So you just need to understand this. It's like this is like a strong belief keeping you away from your own inner knowing, and you want to follow what comes as a intuitive way to you. So just see that who is the perceiver. If the perceiver is your false identity, it's gonna perceive accordingly because it's gonna keep you at the safe place. It doesn't want this identity to be destroyed. So you continue going to perceive everything according to that identity. You being manipulated by what you think is true for you, what you're perceiving. Okay? And if you follow your knowing, which is completely opposite, it'll destroy your identities. You're not going to follow. That's what teacher is helping you to follow your knowing, right? And you know that how throughout how this person is so like, you know, person wants to follow his own thinking, believing and all that, you know, and doesn't want to be with in this knowing. So that's why it's almost impossible for the person to follow its own knowing.
Yeah. So tricky.
It's so tricky. Even though many ways I knew that my knowing, I was unable to follow my knowing.
Really.
I knew that it was so powerful in me.
It seems like you did a pretty good job of following your knowing to us. Maybe you struggled with it to some degree. But
Yes. Yeah. I struggled. I moved through the painful areas, extreme painful areas. It's like nothing comes to you just out of blue kind of thing. Even I have described just lately the way I was born was, it was more clean.
still there was
Still,
pain.
struggle is important. Otherwise, you don't know how to relate with it.
That's so against what the person wants or believes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even the process of waking up, whatever that means, all these ideas, like
Yeah. We don't know. We keep on saying it. Okay, I want to wake up. The person does not even know what wake up means. At the same time, it's just strong resistance.
I don't think I ever really appreciated how much following a teacher in this way is against certainly the Western culture. I don't know about the Eastern. I think it's probably a little better in the Eastern. The Western culture is all about trust yourself, and it's not just your inner teacher. It's hidden with different words. Your intuition, your inner voice, your higher self, your truth. Follow your truth. You can do whatever you want to do, and And then we get betrayed, not by teachers. We get hurt by our parents. We even get hurt by, we invent God in a certain way. We get hurt by that. And so we have all these reasons not to trust. And then the society, the Western society tells us not to trust, not in this way that you're talking about now. And so everything's against this student trusting.
It's like even in Eastern society is very much against it as well in Western.
Didn't know that.
Because what happened is in the Eastern world is like there's so many gurus as false gurus has born. Many.
So it's the same thing. You don't know who to trust.
Yeah, you don't know which guru is a true guru. They're all wearing same outfits. They all know this language. You know. So it is very, very scary to follow. Even I think all my relatives, family, they all were against following someone. And because it's very uncertain. You never know who you're gonna be manipulated by or something like that.
It's just, the question is just coming, like, did your family give you a hard time when you started following John?
Of course. Of course.
I would think, and again, this is from my Western mind, that they'd give you an extra hard time because he's Western. Like, here you are, this Indian woman, there's this Gora dressing up as some guru.
Exactly. It's like my mother and father, they were quite open to this.
Wow.
It happened because I would take my mom with me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So for them it was a safer. And but yes, at the same time, for the people, they wouldn't even talk about it. Like, you know, it was like that kind of no to them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't even bring
It's
it
just
up.
like it's completely, I'm kind of out of my mind to follow someone and follow someone who's even Western. And people, they always want somebody to follow is like who's like a, for example, I was from the Sikh family, they want somebody to look like Sikh or something like that.
I would think. Because there's cultural identification and pride in that. It's like, no, India has the gurus, this is the Sikhs, the Hindus, whatever.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, to me, not even a split, not even a tiniest a little bit was in me that he's a Western. To me, it was just an instant moment and I fell in love. It's like, that's it. Something happened. That's it. Done, gone.
Wow.
Yeah. So for me, I even my personality was like that. Like, you know, then I'm all for it. And it's just like it's like some people, they have a hard time to surrender to someone. For me, it wasn't hard. All I need to be just aware of which part is not conscious to surrender. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes even that was surprising me, like why people cannot fall in love easily.
Yeah.
Because I was the opposite way. I was able to. Yeah.
That's a beautiful quality.
Yeah, but it's scary to the people though. It's scary to the people around me. It's like, because I just move according to what I know. And for them, it's hard to swallow.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know that I don't really share what you are, who you are, what you do in descriptive ways with the people back home. I mean, some of them know, my close friends know, but many people, it's just like, oh yeah, there's a teacher, meditation, blah, blah, blah. Because
Mhm.
I don't even want to deal with what would come back and I also don't know how to explain you. And the more I study with you, the less I feel like I know how to explain you.
Exactly.
I don't even know what you are or what you do. I mean, I could write it down and it would sound good, but it's a bunch of crap. I don't really know
Mhm.
what to say about you.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And
And you
there's
don't.
also, mm-mm. And there's also like the other side, like from your side, okay, don't study with the white teacher, fine. From my culture, at least from my own personal thing, there's like when I used to meet when I used to meet a white person who would go to India to study with a guru, I'd be like, oh, come on, get over it. You think you're so wise, blah, blah. You're going to go to India now. There's like judgment. And I
Mhm.
feel like maybe I'm projecting that, but I feel like there's judgment in Western culture to go do that. Like, well, who do you think you are? You think you're some Indian now? You're faking. You're special. There's all this other stuff from the other side that could be put on top of that. So it's
Mhm.
almost like both sides, there's so much just belief. The tide is pushing you the other way. You have to swim against the tide to really get where you want to go. You can't.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's why I don't share too much. I don't talk too much. I'm just,
Mhm. Mhm. It's again and again, it's about person's longing. Some people, they go to India just there with a spirituality way, like, they want to be spiritual. They just want to learn yoga. They want to learn some other techniques and stuff like that. But some people, they just find themselves there because there is some kind of longing in them. But this does not mean they'll find a true guru over there, but it's about their true longing. This is what I admire. Because even you have a true longing, this does not mean necessarily you are gonna find a guru this lifetime. I talked this sometime before. It's like it takes a long time for the person to find a true guru. Because what it means, this does not mean the guru is not present. Guru is always present. But the student is not ready to value the guru. If you don't value the guru, you're not ready yet. Even with the fewer people, and I saw this relation, it's like this relation is not new. They have earned it.
when you say not new, are you talking past life, not new, like specific person to person, guru to student, or do you just mean not new in the sense that the longing's been in the person developing for lifetimes and lifetimes?
Yeah. It's just like, for example, we are only talking about a student and teacher relationship. And then when we talk about this, longing and relationship is a different one. But the the topic we're talking about is like even for the student. So the student is constantly earning this pull, this earning it. Because their moment comes when the student can the moment, and I said it's like instant connection happens
With the teacher.
with the teacher.
Uh,
So this didn't happen just all of a sudden in this lifetime.
that longing has been growing and
It's
developing.
been growing.
being earned by different things.
Yeah. Because many times the person says, oh, I have a longing. The longing is not what person call is a longing. Longing is a fire. Fire. It's not letting you rest. You don't think when you are in this kind of fire. You don't think. Because if the thinking is a bigger, you are choosing, this is not my teacher, this is my teacher. Or someone else is going to come, it's going to be my teacher.
Back
It's
in the
the
mind.
thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the thinking is doing its work and keeping you at the safe side.
Hmm.
But when you have a longing, you're not in a safe side. Yeah.
You're in the dangerous place.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's a
Mm.
dangerous to the person,
Yeah,
to the personal levels.
which of course, when you're in that, when you touch the beyondness, the personalness is so irrelevant. In those moments, it's like, cost? What cost? It's not even real anyway. But when you're in the person, oh boy, what a cost. It's like all the gold in the world, and you have to shoot yourself in the head and kill everybody you love and kill your child, kill your pet dog. It's like, no. It changes so much. It changes so much.
Yeah, yeah.
It's almost hard to believe that so much oppositeness exists in one being. So much person, and then this little small beyondness from which everything is so unimportant. All the surface things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still after all these years just as amazing and astounding to me. It's like, I just can't believe we can, both of those points of view are in us. We're capable of such extreme shifting, such opposites. I don't understand.
Opposites.
Yeah, like when you're in your person, everything is scary. And when you touch the beyondness, you're willing to just take my money, take my life. Ugh, I just want to die in this
Exactly.
truth.
Yeah.
Like, they're so opposite. How can they live in one person? It just blows me away. What
Yeah,
we're capable of, the extreme differences.
yeah, yeah. Because like it's like a saying way, thinking way. The person can be homeless, thinking way, right? That's easy. Many people they are like that. But choosing way within, that's the most difficult thing you do. Because you're conscious within. And that moment you are really learning that what cost actually means. That moment you're tasting the little depth of your person's depth, right? Because if you become like just a from home to homeless, it's like there is not a big cost involved. It's just like you want to experience something out there. That's all. There is no, you're not conscious of it, what you're doing. You're not present in yourself. It's like,
Okay.
yeah. So when you're present, then tasting that little depth within, that's so meaningful to you. that moving you beyond this birth and death experience, right? Because even physical way, you lose your physical body. It's normal. This is what is happening to these millions or billions of people. Right? There's nothing new in it. But when you're consciously tasting this death of this person, that's new. That you know.
And there's so many millions of deaths that have to happen.
Hmm.
Every little belief, every little almost feeling, relation. And it's just another opposite again from the same thing I was saying before, from the personal point of view. Even the word death has these feelings, these connotations, this, oh no, death is bad. And from that little child, it just there's so much lightness to it, and almost feels like freedom, just like just
Because
unburdened.
when you consciously tasting this death again and again, it's not like, okay, one death happened one day, that's all. It's like again and again, you tasting this person's death. It's keep on moving you beyond. It's just like a beyond of your personalness. This is how you're tasting what is other than you, what is this you. It's just constant earning. And that is changing you. That is changing your understanding about yourself. The other death, like physical death, physical form, you die, and then you forget about everything again.
Yeah.
That's why even longing is like you, it's like you being repeated. You know this is being repeated. And then you want to move beyond this now. That's what I said. This is not one day of earning even the teacher. You know you need a teacher. You know that. And even for that, you getting ready from longest time.
That's really kind of cool, stupid word, cool, but to think that we were getting ready to meet you.
Yes, yes.
Certainly
It
didn't
doesn't,
know
nothing
that.
happens just out of a blue kind of thing. Nothing happens like that. It just, we see that way because we don't understand things in a bigger picture.
Right, right, right.
But it's like, as I said, nobody's going to value if something, it's like something big is given to you all of a sudden. It's like you're not going to value it if you weren't looking for it.
And it almost feels like the way you're talking about it, there's this beautiful, we talk about the system all the time being a machine, but there's this other divine machine, this machinery that's handing us things when it's time to be given them, and helping us die and bringing us to the guru, and just something else is guiding us in ways that we couldn't even begin to understand. That's
Yeah, happening according our own inner level.
yeah. Yeah, it's like the interplay between us and the universe. Like we earn and the universe moves us or something, but we don't know how.
Yeah, because it's like, that's why it's not so much important in the first place to understand the bigger picture. You just follow, you just trust. You just love. And keep on trusting, keep on loving, keep on moving, letting yourself be whichever way is taking you. And then slowly, slowly, like you're beginning to see a little bit more than before. But we cannot see this big picture all of a sudden. Everything is depend on our earnings. What we are earning, how mature we are.
Mature?
How mature we are, yes.
Sure, mature, okay.
Mhm, mhm. Not like a wise man way, but inner maturity, like how we can be sensitive, how can be open, how can be able to pay the cost. It's like, everything is maturing the person.
Be honest about what we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Be exactly who we are, not trying to put anything on top of it.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Which is hard because the maturity to the mass belief system, the maturity feels like immaturity. Like don't be greedy, don't be selfish, don't be lustful, don't be angry. No, but I am those things. So I need to admit it. That doesn't mean I should go out and act out on them, but I need to acknowledge that I am these things. I am so immature, so immature.
That's
And,
a really good way to explain it. Yes.
and in a way, it's harder when you walk. It's like, I've been studying spirituality for 12 years. Well, now you really don't want to admit how selfish and greedy and lustful and angry
Yes.
you are. Or me, I'm whatever. I'm not a young man anymore. I'm an older man. I should be. Then it's more about, well, when I was 21, it was okay. But at my age, I shouldn't be this way. It's like takes more, takes more honesty to really say, no, I am immature. So
Exactly.
many ways.
Yeah. This is where you begin to mature. Which is really, really difficult for the person to admit this. I am immature.
Yeah, like just this morning, it just came to me just the words utterly selfish. Like I'm utterly selfish, just completely selfish. And I was like, yeah, really, really selfish person. Just like me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's hard to admit that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not only do you don't want to, because you don't want to be, it's all society tells you. I mean, if we were raised in a different world, if you were everybody's parent, you probably would raise the children to say, no, admit who you are. It's okay. You're not going to get hit. Let's talk about it. Let's admit it. But in this world, you get rejected for being that way. You get punished for being that way. You get judged for being that way. So there's this big agenda to like hide the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're just running from ourselves. We're abusing ourselves when we hide from that truth. And it just perpetuates. Then we have more to hide. And we've abandoned ourselves. Now we have to be wise and be a teacher and do all this stuff and get all this respect, all because we just can't admit that we're utterly selfish.
Exactly. So now you see that, like even like I want to follow my own teacher. Right? You see
Can't
that
trust
who's
that.
gonna follow who?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't trust that.
Yeah. Exactly.
No
So
way.
so it's like the bottom line is that you need the teacher. But again, whenever you are ready.
Yeah.
It's not like anybody's gonna make you follow, or even the teacher is gonna make you follow. It's whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. You know that. It's like when you really meet the teacher, your foundation is gonna be shaken.
Yeah.
And I remember that I was so surprised by the people, like, they literally know that even before they were meeting me, literally know that their foundation is already shaken because somebody is just about to bring them to me. And it's just like they're already there, like saying, oh no, no. It's like I was just amazed by this person, how resistant this person is.
It's astounding.
Yeah,
It is astounding.
yeah.
And when you have moments, when you study with you and you start to have moments other than that person, other than that, and you start to touch the oneness, the beyondness, the impersonalness, but you still have all this person in you, you become even more astounded. Like I keep saying it like a broken record. I can't believe the opposites that exist inside one person. Like
Mhm.
you actually become more present to your own attachment, your craziness, your fear, your resistance. It's just, you almost can't believe yourself. How can I be this way? And you can't stop it either.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's, you feel
Yeah.
crazy. You feel actually
Mhm.
kind of crazy.
Mhm. Mhm. It's very powerful.
It really, really
It's
is.
like, yeah, even like a Eastern way of saying it. This is a cycle, and it's not easy to get out of it.
Mm, yeah.
And
Momentum.
yeah,
Momentum.
yeah, it's just very, very rare whoever can get out of this cycle.
Yeah, the
And
momentum
that's
is like a
why,
train. Sorry.
hmm? Yeah,
I was gonna say
okay.
it's like a train, like a train going very fast. There's so much momentum to it. It's hard, even
Mm-hmm.
with the brakes on, it's still gonna go forward.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. 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 And this is how I see in people, like when they're beginning to come, then it's in the beginning is way fast, even though the moment they're acknowledging something, but as you said, the train is so fast still.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now I beginning to see after years of work, it's beginning to slow down.
Mm, yeah. I see that in a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. And also it's like, as we're talking about teacher-student relationship, even in the beginning, sometimes the person is thinking that is the best student ever, or, kind of thing. But nothing can be determined by this way of seeing it.
Yeah.
Nothing. Even that is, to me, is also shocking as well, because the many people, when they just came with this such a big force of this trust or love kind of thing, with a big force of it, but they cannot stay too long.
Yes. I see what you mean. You
So,
just don't
so
know.
we don't know who is gonna follow all along. We don't know. Sometimes I say it's easier to shed the body than to follow.
Yeah. You have to shed the body. Everybody has to do that. It's
Yeah,
pretty as
it's
easy as it gets.
easier. Yeah, and but to follow is the most difficult part.
Well, because there's choice. It's not like death. With death of the physical body, I mean, you don't necessarily, some people kill themselves. Most people are afraid of dying, but you do know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But you don't have to follow the teacher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when you're
Totally.
following the teacher, it's like you earning more this wakeful states than you ever were before. So if you are, because mostly the person is shedding this physical body in a sleepy mode, right? So moving through this as a wakeful state is like a tasting your own death, again and again, tasting of your own death. It's completely new. To this beingness.
And it feels new every time, I would imagine.
Exactly.
That's why I keep saying new beginning, new beginning, new beginning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because in the very beginning, the people used to think, okay, I got it, that's it, I'm done. And then I learned, no, yeah, this is just a beginning.
It's great because it just invites that childlike innocence and smallness and trust, because you're always at square one.
Mhm, mhm. Because it's not only with the teacher, but the higher is the same. Unlimited, unlimited trust, unlimited this love.
An unlimited new beginning. I mean, I don't know what it's like for you, but I certainly could see that every time you have a shift, that's a new beginning for you.
Mhm, mhm,
It's like,
mhm.
to us, you're at square 1,000,000, but maybe to you, you're at square one, you're square one, whatever that means to you. It's like that unlimitedness is incomprehensible to our linear mind.
Yeah, because it's like you see that like the person is keep on thinking, done.
Yep.
I am done. It's the most illusion way of saying it. It's the most untrue way of saying it.
Yep.
Even it feels that way at that moment, and feels that way. So you just see that it's just a feeling, something you felt. That's all, and it's gone already. But if you
Yeah.
give the power to the mind and the mind takes over, mind goes into this cycle. Because this is what mind is familiar with. Then it takes you in the cycle longer way again.
Yeah, thank you. This is really good. I'm seeing now, as you're talking and explaining it to us, I'm seeing there's this child holding the finger of God, just an open trust, right? And then the mind comes in and goes, look, I'm trusting. This is it. I got it. And it feels so good to have it that it doesn't know that it's completely shifted from the trust to the knowing, the wiseness. It's a disguise. And it doesn't even know that it's tricked itself. It still thinks
Exactly.
it's there, but it's like,
Mhm.
no, now you just feel good. Now your eye is feeling good. You're not in the trust
Exactly.
anymore.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like we trick ourselves.
Because when the person is feeling good, person believes that something is a higher now.
You get tricked by how you feel.
Because you just switch one thing to another thing. For example, you switch one car to another. You switch one house to another, right? One place to another. Temporarily, you feel good.
It's new, it's pretty.
You switch your teacher to another. Temporarily, you're gonna feel good.
Mhm. And you don't want to give up that new house or that new car, that new teacher. You just got it. No, this is my house, my car, my teacher. I don't now I'm open. Look at me. I'm open. See? It's because when you're in that childlike trust, sometimes the goodness just comes and it's so beautiful. And your job is to not grab it. And it's so hard not to grab it sometimes because it's so
Exactly.
beautiful. And you've been suffering for so long. You just want to have just a little taste, just a
Hmm.
little mouthful.
Hmm.
And then now it's mine. It's so tricky. It's almost like the universe wants to give you a beautiful meal and you almost have to say no thank you in some crazy crazy way. Like, does that make sense?
That is like the universe has given us already everything. We are the one when blind to it.
It's like even grabbing doesn't make any sense at all.
This is what we're suffering from, grabbing. That's what I said, that the value of the guru is it's like a it's like we in the Eastern way they put it in a higher space, higher place, because they said the card is already here.
Mm.
It's a present. But who's going to remove the blindness? God itself is not going to.
Mm. Makes sense now. More sense. Just seems so narrow the way I live, the way we live.
Mm-hmm.
So narrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like the way you're talking, there's just a feast. Everywhere you look is just a feast, and we're just like starving. Just
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so unaware.
That's what, even from the beginning, the personal way, the person is thinking, okay, the guru is going to give me something, teacher is going to give me something.
Nope.
But
You're
it's
gonna
only removing your blindness, your sleepiness, your beliefs. Everything is there already, present.
as you're talking about it, I feel this fullness that I can't quite describe. Like there's so much fullness in this moment that I'm usually not in touch with.
Mm-hmm.
Richness.
Mm-hmm.
And from this place, I can see more what you mean by the grabbing is what kills everything or hurts everything, because
Mm.
the grabbing is coming from this belief of lack, this false belief of lack, or that I don't have, I need,
Mm.
I don't have enough, or there's no trust in the grabbing.
Yeah.
And it's clear from this place why we need a teacher, because it's almost like the definition of a guru is takes away your blindness. How can you take away your own blindness?
Exactly. Yeah, that's why that false thing is, I am my own teacher. Others are your teacher, yes. They'll, they'll destroy your ego. There's a possibility in that. But I am my own teacher. I don't understand it yet. Because you cannot remove your ignorance. If you're sleepy, you cannot wake up. You are in a deep sleep. It's like then you need somebody to wake you up. And you know that, like how much we're talking about it, that how easy to go back to sleep, how easy to go back to sleep,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, you're right. It makes much more sense to say the world is my teacher than to say I am my own teacher.
It's destroying your ego. But if you can see even that true way, which is also not possible most of the time, but most of the time when you are with your teacher, the teacher is telling you, like, look how the world is helping you also. We've been talking about year after connection after connection. We've been talking about it, how everything is helping. We cannot resist to anything.
Powerful. You resist to so much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Don't
And
even know.
resisting means, it's like a resistance means it's like the person is sleeping and habitually in a sleepy mode is in the resistance. It's like, you know, that like if we are sleeping, we are more helpless. Right?
Sure.
So it's the same thing. We are in a sleepy mode. We are in a helplessness. That's what we call it. We are in this cycle. Right? Cycle of this life and death. Because we're helpless. If we can do something, we don't need to be in the cycle. The sleepy person can be in the cycle.
Yeah, it's just a cycle of birth, death, identification, grabbing,
Yeah, all
sleepiness.
that is happening in that.
And the trust in this moment, it just feels like the trust can't even be understood.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. You just earning. You're choosing to trust again and again, again and again.
Because I'm feeling it some right now, and it feels like I described my first connection with you, otherworldly. Trust is otherworldly. It's not of this world. It's something
Yeah,
you can't explain it.
yeah,
And the mind does not like it.
exactly. It's against everything.
It's actually unsettling. It's like uncomfortable. It's like, but there's a part, that spot, that childlikeness that loves it.
Yeah, that's the little part it knows.
For a minute, your face just shifted for me. It's like you became like this young woman.
And I hope we have touched all the points.
I checked my list.
Yeah, okay. That's good.
Okay.
And thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your explanations, and thank you for being our guru. And I think for all of us, I can say thanks to the universe that whatever we earned, whatever we went through, we are now able to be with you and to trust you.
I'm
Grateful for you.
grateful to the universe.
Thank you, Gurpreet.